Hey you guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey, back with another video. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. It's Friday. I actually wanted to check in with you guys and just leave this quick message for you all. Now, granted, we're in the holiday time frame right now. I feel that even with that still being the case, continue to find time in some way or another to give back. It doesn't have to be on a financial scale. You can also give back in terms of time, because time within itself is currency. So whether you're doing volunteer work at your local church, or maybe with an organization who goes around to various areas that are seeking that type of support, do so. Donations. If it's something that you know you have in your closet and you don't foresee yourself wearing it anytime soon or at all, it's just there collecting dust, do just that. I feel like regardless of where you are in life, whether you are in a stable spot or not, still have that mindset, that sense of heart, and saying, okay, there is something that I can do to give back. For a lot of you who may not be aware, a lot of you who have just joined my page, I notice I have a lot of newcomers. I'm looking at the numbers and I would want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. I do see the numbers going up quite quickly, which is a blessing, and I truly appreciate that. And I'm glad that I have such a good support that's starting to build, and it is beautiful to witness. But yeah, I can think back to the time, for some of you who were not aware, there was one point where I actually ended up in a shelter, believe it or not. One thing that I can think back to, what my mom used to say, she was a single parent taking care of me and my brothers. So when it came to any hardships that we were enduring during those times, she always been an avid believer in the notion, you don't have to look like the environment you're coming from, or coming out of, I should say. So, meaning, when you think about those who live in shelters, you guys, it's not like what you see in the movies. I do know that. There is such a mixture of individuals in those shelters from all walks of life. And each individual's reason for why they end up in those shelters are conspicuous from the other. It may be relocation, it may be job loss, maybe they lost their house because maybe a spouse or someone had passed on, and they weren't able to keep up with the expenses. It could be someone who dealt with mounting medical bills. So it's the point of driving home here is that each individual's reason is different. Now, to take it a step further, what was I going with this? I was going to say also, when it comes to those who are in there, not every person has a bias. In a lot of cases, majority of the people in those shelters don't have a bias. I would say it would possibly be maybe no more than like 3% or 5% to be exact. I know when I went through my experience with it, that was a bit shocking. I was like, oh, wow, that's it? Like, that's really it. I used to always think it was like the movies, where it was like cold, dark. You're gonna run across a lot of people who were drug fiends or alcoholics, and chances are you're gonna be robbed, you know, things like that. When I first had went in, I was like, wait, there's people in here who look as normal as you and I, and they're in this predicament. And then when you start to hear their backstory, or they hear your backstory, whether it's still relocation or things like that, and they're like, oh, really? Well, actually, that's my story too. And then they start to tell you all the details. It's pretty amazing when you realize, like, wow, this is way different than how Hollywood likes to portray it. Even while going through that experience, I remember I made it a key focus to still want to contribute. So for those of you who know me and who have known me, I've always been one that's a give. Actually, just so you guys are aware, those who don't know me as of yet, I've always genuinely been that one that loved to give, but found it hard to receive. And that's I don't know, I never quite understood why. I get it now, but years ago I never quite understood why. It was like I became, I wouldn't say shy, I guess bashful is the way to put it. Because I've been so used to people just take. Funny quick story here. I remember I had these box of crayons. You guys remember back in the day how we used to have these huge multi-pack boxes of crayons? I'm trying to think of the word. It was like maybe 64 crayons in a box, things like that. You know, when you get that school supplies, you know, your mom or your dad, whoever sends you off to school with it, just so you can present it to the teacher so they can see you have all your supplies. I remember we had these desks back in the day. You guys probably know. You probably remember, I should say, where we used to be able to lift the top part and put our supplies inside the desk. So funny story. Even as a kid, I remember I was always that one that felt the need to give. So what did I decide to do with my box of crayons? I sat there. My mom was ticked. She was ticked at me because I didn't know. I was just a giver. I didn't realize like I wasn't supposed to do that. So I gave some of my classmates, and they kept their supplies. But me, of course, I split my crayons. I split them up. I gave them to people because it was in me. It was in me, and I was doing it freely, not realizing as a kid, like, Jessica, you're not supposed to do that. And that brings me up to present day, because even as I got older, and of course you start really making the money, you got your degrees and all that, and when you start making the bucks, like you thinking, like, okay, I'm still supposed to be that person. You understand? So whenever someone needed something, you just got it. And I made it happen. But when it came time to people to actually give me things, I always froze up, or always never knew what to tell me. Like, and then my mom, she made a statement, I'll never forget this. She was like, what do you get a girl who has everything? And I kept thinking to myself, and my mom said that, like, what did she mean by that? But then now it makes sense when I think about it. Her thought was that this girl pretty much has it all. Like, what, as her mom, what can I possibly do to trump that? Not realizing that for me personally, even with where I was standing, the simplest thing would have meant the world to me. It would have taken some time to get used to, but it would have still been significant enough for me to truly appreciate. Past 2020, after she had passed away, that was when everything just fully shifted. That was when I became more aware of everything in terms of the spiritual side of things. It's like I knew it for years, but for me, that was when things started to flip and things started to be exposed to me that I wasn't paying attention to. So that's when I started to realize, like, just be slow down, pay close attention. You'll start to see certain things and signs and such all around you that let you know who should be in your corner, who should not. The point I want to drive home here is when it came to that, when it came to going through all that in terms of the transition, I began to realize that don't lose that side. And what I mean by that, don't lose that caring side of you when it comes to giving in some form or another. So even when being in the shelter space, when I was there, I made it a key focus to continue to give. Whether it was me helping with serving food, like serving breakfast, like I used to tell you guys in the past stories, where people were like, oh, I always look forward to your smile in the morning. And that just, those words alone didn't cost a thing, but it made such an impact on me to keep smiling, even when being in that predicament that I was in. Furthermore, people thought it was the funniest thing. I think a lot of the staff did too, because when I was in there, the way I was dressed, people never would have known, like, wait, you're not a staff member, you're an actual resident here? And I'm like, yeah, I am. And furthermore, when they hear me speak, they knew she's not from here. A lot of people thought I was like working for the government. They thought I was like some undercover. I got that quite a bit. Some would joke and call me Michelle Obama or something like that, and I would just laugh it off. Like, okay. But it was just because of how I carried myself. And it all stems back to what she said. when I was coming up as a kid. You do not have to step out in such a way to reflect either circumstances that you are walking out of, to put it plainly. Meaning, like, still carry yourself with a sense of pride and respect and a sense of care about your image, just like you were in any other predicament. Not only did I contribute with time, but also with items. So if I had certain items on me and I knew I was not gonna wear it anytime soon or at all, I would ask if I can actually donate them to any of the people here in the location when I was there. The staff would look at me like, what? Because they're thinking like, you're in a shelter, you're already here in a shelter, why would you want to donate that? But it's like a shedding of a skin. It's like one of those things that, kind of like the notion of one man's junk is another man's treasure, right? I don't think of it, I don't like using the term junk, but it's kind of like it goes with the same. But I felt like if anyone else could truly benefit from it versus myself in this time, then why not? And it used to always make me happy to see that they truly appreciated the item and they were truly benefiting from it. That always put a smile on my face. So this season, I'm just encourage you guys to take that initiative and do just that. If there's items that you know that you're not gonna ever wear anymore, or you don't plan on wearing it anytime soon, and you know you can easily replace it, just give it to someone. There's so many donation boxes that are out there nowadays in various states and cities where you can just walk up to and drop the stuff in. There's so many churches and things you can go to. Just simply doing a Google search, it doesn't hurt if you are not quite sure where to go, where to call, things like that. But don't just sit on it. Don't just hoard it. Don't allow it to collect dust when it could truly be a strong benefit for someone else. And I don't know, that message was on me heavy to put into this video this morning, so I wanted to make sure I did that with you guys. I know for me personally, I've still been doing just that. I actually am gonna put a quick little clip up. I put this like little snack bundle together, so cute, and I put a card with it. And I'm actually gonna leave it in a little designated spot. I don't know where, but I'm gonna leave a little note, a message on top of it to say to whoever the lucky person is that finds this. And I'm gonna have a card in there with a message for them, with those snacks. So even something as simple as that, I'm gonna leave it somewhere, it'll be today. But even something as simple as that. Just do something to show you still have a sense of care when it comes to humanity. That is all for this quick video, you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. All the details pertaining to the services that I offer when it comes to keynote speaking, motivational speaking, one-on-one consultations, all of that is on my website. And until next time, I'm definitely seeing you guys off with love and light. Be blessed.